Dear team, hello. As usual, I'm here with some advice. If you see very strong movements up or down, try to avoid such currency pairs, or wait until the movement normalizes. Up correction, up correction. But when there are abnormally strong movements up or abnormally strong movements down, try not to trade at such moments or with those currency pairs. Don't consider them. Check this tab, News and Economic Calendar. That is, even though news has just come out, you can still find a more or less suitable currency pair, for example, the euro to Canadian dollar, where we can set up levels. Set the levels in a way that's convenient for you. You can do this on the M1 time frame or on the M5 time frame. M1 is easier to see. You can also see it on M5. Here are the global levels, for example, here and here above. Switch to the M1 time frame, and here we can see how the price will interact. Also, between these two blue levels, there is one pink level. I have a feeling that now you can enter upwards, but you need to double check yourself, choose a currency pair, and wait. The bot's response? The bot should analyze and give me an answer whether it's worth entering or not. So I would open an upward position here. Why? Because here the rule works, right? 1, touch, 2, 3, 4, touch. This is a breakout, usually. But I always double check myself with the bot. According to the bot, I see, look, this indicator shows that it's going up. This indicator shows upward movement. Based on the volumes, what I see is also upward movement. And here as well, it's upward. Out of 5 indicators, 4 point to an increase. Let's enter the trade, opening an upward position. First, let's do an analysis right here on the broker's platform. What do you think? Did we do the right thing or not? So based on previous setups on the chart, I mark the zone. We have with you 1 a high, 2 a high, 3 a high, 4 a touch, and now it's breaking through. Okay. The same can be said about the lower level. We had the same situation. 1, 2, well, here there was not even a touch. So 2 touches mean 2 pullbacks. The lower level, I don't think it will be broken. But the upper level is now under threat. So I understand that this is the rule. Now it will work. And you can open a trade, for example, for an increase. Let me now show you some more examples like this, where this rule works. And you can also double check this rule yourself. A very good pattern. 1, 2, 3, and the 4th touch is a breakout. So set up horizontal levels like this, and you can double check yourself, take a look, and use this rule as your main trading strategy. That is, here I opened an upward trade on the breakout of the pink level. Here it is. Now let's move on to the bot. The bot was requested. The free link is in the profile header. Let's do it like this. Let's make it even. Here is the bot. Set it up, download it for yourself. I requested a currency pair and opened this bot. What do we see here from the 2 indicators? This one is more green, which means it's a signal for an upward delta. Up here, since there's a step and a green candle down, it means the upward trend movement is strengthening. If the step with the green candle were, for example, upwards, like here, see right here, then we would have a pullback from the level. So here the signal is also upwards, yes. Here oversold always transitions into overbought. From overbought it goes into oversold, and from oversold it goes into overbought. Since there is a crossover here, it means you can go upwards. Overbought here is also a signal upwards. So in total, 1, 2, 3 signals for an upward move. But the future movement of the chart shows a correction. Only after that does it go up. Here it's 50-50, so I don't even look at this indicator. Here there is an indicator. Here it is. You can see it's wide histogram, narrow histogram, and here too a narrow histogram where there is a wide histogram. There is a level there, and that level is very strong, but I have a rule. If the level is very strong and the chart hits that level 1, 2, 3, 4 times, then on the 4th or 5th touch, there will be a breakout. In other words, if the chart keeps hitting a strong level, sooner or later that level will be broken. Look, 4 seconds left. I didn't have time to close the trade. Instead of $100, I opened $250 up again. It's frustrating. You know, there are trades like this, and you might have them too, when it closed you at a loss. And literally a second later, the chart went up. That's normal. It's natural. Why is it normal when this happens to you? Because when you have an overload of news, a lot of news, there will be moments like this. When you predicted, for example, a breakout, and it's just about to happen. It even started to move a little. But the chart will give a correction for about 7 minutes, and only then will it go up. This happens, you see. I took out this insurance to cover the losses from the first trade and come out with a profit. We will get $480 gross, subtract $250, and we'll have $230 net profit. Here it is. And from this amount, if, of course, it closes in profit, I understand, you shouldn't say anything until it actually happens. And if, for example, we get $230, we subtract the $100 that didn't work out, so our net profit will be $130. That's if we subtract what didn't go through. But in my videos, I also try to show what kind of force majeure situations can happen. If, for some reason, this currency pair doesn't move upward for a breakout, I'll switch to another currency pair. And on another currency pair, I will also do an analysis and use a trade amount doubled by 2.5 times. So I show both losing and winning trades. This is a very good experience for you. Take it. And for any trader, believe me, 90% to 100% of traders trade this way. They have both positive and negative moments, but I show everything. Some people only show the positive moments. I show all the moments, both the upsides and the downsides. And I try to show them. Every one of my trading sessions ends with me coming out ahead to show my system, which I use to try to end up in profit. That is, I use a large deposit and the minimum trade amount. Back in the day, I started with 17,000 rubles 7 years ago. My trade amount was 100 rubles per deal. You should feel as if you are trading on a demo account. That's how it is. If, for example, the price doesn't go up right now, that happens. I did everything right as correctly as possible, as accurately as possible, but that happens. Unfortunately, that happens because of news events. Here, I can allow for the possibility that I'll take a loss. That can happen. If I take a loss, I'll switch to another currency pair. On another currency pair, I'll do the same analysis, the same breakdown, and enter a trade on that pair to cover my loss. This is how I cover losses. This is the market, it's normal, and it will always be like this. If it weren't for factors like news events, everyone would be a millionaire in trading. And this industry wouldn't work because the broker wouldn't be able to pay everyone, but not everyone knows this. That's why I always try to share tips with the team. Our net profit is $230, and with that in mind, let's look for a new currency pair. On this currency pair, I'm closing with a profit. Excellent. And we're leaving this one. Here's another point. You see how the market jumps up and down. I don't want this kind. You shouldn't work with such a pair. When there are strong moves up and strong moves down, it's not worth it. Again, strong moves. But there's also good news. Among these pairs, even during such volatile times, there are calm, or at least relatively calm, currency pairs. Ideally, I need to look for a currency pair for a breakout. You know the rules? Let's take a look. Here's the US dollar to Japanese yen. I liked it. You see, here we have a horizontal zone. Here it is. And in theory, you can enter on the breakout of this zone. But here we have 3 touches. We need to wait. Let me request this currency pair in advance. Start. Currency pair, US dollar to Japanese yen. Time frame, 1 minute in English. Let's switch. Excellent. So here I would wait for a small pullback. Here at this level, based on this pause we marked it, I would open a position downwards. Because 1, 2, 3, and on the 4th or 5th touch, there will be a breakout. But as I said, I would open a position downwards, of course, if not for the fact that, according to all our indicators, it would show that here, for example, for a downward move, it's 50-50. Here the signal is slightly down, then up, here the signal is up, here the signal is down. You see, it's 50-50 based on the indicators that I'm doing such situations, leaving the currency pair and going to look for the next one once the situation becomes more or less clear. We won't go that way. Let's look at the currency pair euro, Canadian dollar, euro cat. No, let's find something else. Dollar, Australian dollar, dollar. Euro dollar, I'm looking for a currency pair, seeing what we might have. This is what I've seen so far. There is a moment here, but the chart is moving towards it for a very long time and with very strong movement. I try not to work on such moments, but here there was a touch of the level. This is the 3rd touch. This is the 3rd touch. But because of the strong upward movement, I won't work this one out. Here, a breakout happened. Remember, we opened this currency pair together. If we hadn't taken out insurance, we would have lost. We wouldn't have covered ourselves. Here, there's a false breakout of this level. After the false breakout, I would have opened upwards. but it's the US dollar Japanese yen M1 time frame. Why is it a false breakout? First of all, it's the third touch. Usually there's a pullback on the third touch. Secondly, there's a red candle followed by a strong green candle, especially if they're like this. A second later, it closed like that. I would have opened upwards here, because after a false breakout, we get an upward movement. Yes, I'm opening it, guys. The trade amount. I always change it and open upwards. Let me explain it a bit differently so you definitely understand. There's a level. If we count 1, 2, 3, there should be a pullback. But if there's a false breakout, in this case, if there's a false breakout of the level, then roughly speaking, our touches are counted from the beginning again. That is, the chart wanted to go into the lower zone. It decided to test it on the third touch, but then shot out of there sharply. I'll speak in simple terms so you understand. That is, there's a zone where the chart feels comfortable, certain price levels. There are such zones. Here they are where it's comfortable. If the market doesn't accept this price level, it jumps out of there, and the next touches are also counted from the beginning. If there is a breakout after all, we need to wait for 1, 2, 3, and enter on the fourth touch. Enter on the breakout of this level. Since this is a false breakout, I believe we will see upward movement, meaning these price levels. The market does not accept. If there is no breakout, then there will be a pullback. There won't be a breakout because this is the third touch, because it's a false breakout, and because there was an uptrend, then a correction. So I expect the trend to continue upward. This is what I saw on the broker, and now here's what I saw according to the bot. According to the bot, we can see that this indicator, on the contrary, signals a decline. Okay, I have 5 indicators that help me. Here is a level and here is another level. A strong histogram, but usually when the chart, it breaks through just a little higher, going beyond this histogram. One moment, dollar, Japanese yen. Yes, that currency pair, I just requested it a bit later. Here is a crossover, a signal upward. Here, the staircase of red candles indicates that the downward movement won't continue, so it will go up. Upward, the future movement of the chart is upward. Out of 5 indicators, we have 3 pointing upward. 3 indicators are pointing upward. And so, as I did, I analyzed the chart using graphical analysis. I understand that since there was a false breakout, we can go up, so let's monitor it for 40 seconds. It's Friday, the end of the week, but that's normal. This is what the market is like. I just need to take a pause, wait a bit for the currency pairs to settle down, and then continue trading. Sometimes, yes, I treat it as a trading session and set a goal for myself. For example, in a trading session, I want to make 5 profitable trades, but I realize that the market isn't favorable for that. I just can't scrape together those 5 currency pairs. And in that case, I just take 2 profitable trades and realize that's enough for me. I know I won't be able to get anything more from the market, so I leave. We close with a profit here. Profit $70. Excellent. Small steps toward a big goal. Without taking risks, cutting out all the unnecessary, set up the bot, subscribe to our Telegram channel. There I try to share useful tips, advice, promos, gifts, and I do my best to provide feedback. Thank you so much for your responses. We trade really well together. Thank you so much for sharing your results and experiences in the forecasts. And if you have any questions, thank you for sending me private messages. I really appreciate it. Take care of yourselves. These are the kinds of educational videos I make. Here they are, the promo gifts. I try to post and also share posts from you, like how people withdraw funds, how they trade, and so on. So set the bot to demo mode, check how it works in demo, use it, and practice. Do what I do, and may we always be in profit. Take care of yourselves. See you soon. This was Trader AB with you, glad to share my advice. Goodbye everyone, guys.